It says we're live.
Yes, we are. We
Okay.
are live.
We are live. I don't see anything happening on the YouTube side of it.
It sometimes takes a second.
Sometimes it takes a second.
Yeah. In the meantime, I'd like tweet out to say that you're live and whatnot.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna mute that. I think it's working. Get back.
You are live.
It's actually we're alive. We're alive.
Nick,
Nick,
we're live. We are live. We're
think so.
live.
I have no idea. Wow. Jiminy crit. Holy cow. Hey guys, we're only 20 minutes past.
Yeah. Hey, better 20 minutes late than not at all.
Valid point. Valid point. For those who are not seeing it or don't realize, we're using a completely different system, software, everything for this one.
Yes, the first and only time, I imagine.
Most likely, because I seriously look like I'm from Chernobyl right now. Including an extra head.
You're glowing!
Anyway, I am. I know, right? Y'all can't handle my glow.
Are you pregnant? You're glowing.
Oh.
Oh my God, I broke him. That didn't take long.
That, Sean, my little brother Sean is a terror who just loves to cause chaos and troll the chat. But he's in Greece right now, actually, on an archaeological dig. And I guess he can't be here because it's 3 a.m. there. And it's nice to know that you were able to carry on his legacy for him while he's gone. We might have to have you hang out in the chats for him until he gets back stateside. That was low. That was mean.
Well, I am known to be vicious, so
I'm not that fat. Yes, I am not fat. Anyway, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, from one side to the other. Tonight we're going to be talking kind of about an odd thing, kind of out of our normal. But first and foremost, we have Nick from Phoenix Press here with us tonight. We're going to be talking about indie comics and their various creators, because I have kind of gotten an addiction, apparently.
You might have a problem.
I may have a problem, and there's more coming.
I like the book you got in the top stack. It's very pretty.
Oh yeah, no, I like all of these, honestly. But yeah, so Nick, this is we're gonna go ahead and talk about the first one. This is Screecher issue 1, and this is the 3rd or 4th comic you've published.
Let me think about that for a second. Screecher was the 4th comic. Yeah, sorry, because I have 2-3 different series that I kind of thing. So it's okay.
Because there's 2100 Samurai, which I have issue 1 and 2 on PDF, and then I actually have the physical Phoenix, and issue number 3 of Samurai just got funded, didn't it?
Yeah, we ran the Indiegogo last month, and people were very gracious. They got us funded in a week, and then we got a little more on top of that. So right now we're putting the finishing touches on the book, hoping to have it all kind of completed by next week. Probably be all done, letters and everything, and then we'll probably be going to the printers pretty much right afterwards. Still waiting on Indiegogo to send the money, but hey, that is what it is. But I don't even have the book done, so it wouldn't help anyway if the money was here. So I'm not sweating it.
That's kind of a thing going on in the world right now. I don't know the full context of it because I detest social media.
Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse.
I can't stand it. I can never make any of this damn stuff work right. I have a guy for that, but he keeps talking about becoming the one true God and taking over reality and stuff. Really annoying guy to work with.
Yes, it's what happens when you make a pact with a demon lord.
Oh, don't give him ideas for new titles to give himself. I'll never hear the end of it. I mean, for crying out loud, he tries to make his own name a catchphrase. But anyway, uh, there's like 4 people in the chat who have actually watched the Vagrancy Horror that'll actually pick up and know what I'm talking about. But anyway, there's this thing. It's like a hashtag comics broke me, and I don't understand what is that about. Now
So okay, so let me kind of break that down for you. So comics broke me was a hashtag mostly started by like more industry pros about how terrible comics are. I got screwed over, and yeah, there's horror stories. Don't get me wrong, but it's not a universal kind of thing. For every story of like, oh, I did this and like stuff happened, there's another story like mine where comics have literally been the best thing to ever happen to me, and my experience is pretty much nothing but positive. And then there's like some stories where it's like I wrote a really I wrote a graphic novel about a really obscure topic that like very few people actually care about, won an Eisner Award, but it didn't sell for some weird reason, you know. And then he's like, "Oh, comics broke me." So it's like at some point you just got to be like, and then like I try to share my positive stories, like, "Oh, you can't do that. This is about you can only whine and cry." You know, like some person actually tried to give me grief about it, and I'm like, just shut the F up, dude.
See, me personally, I think a big problem is that people are kind of addicted to negativity. They want bad things. They want to be upset. They want to be scared or offended and things like that. And to be fair, it's annoying to me because my great uncle Lloyd Kaufman, Uncle Lloyd. By the way, we're still on Troma now for everyone watching. We're still on that. His autobiography, if I'm not mistaken, it was called "Make Your Own Damn Movie." You know, and it's like, but you see these people who just they spend hours, weeks of time making videos complaining about a movie or a comic that they didn't like or something. And it's like, why don't you just take that time and make something that you do like? Like,
yeah, it's why I don't really associate with like Phantom Menace people, because like, yeah, Star Wars sucks. Yeah, a lot of the stuff is bad, but like there kind of comes a point where it's like, all right, yeah, we know Star Wars sucks. What are we gonna do about it? Like I'm not a person for endless complaining, because it might and I'm not anti-complaining. Like it has its uses, but at some point you just got to be like, what am I gonna do about it? Because if you just complain, it's just as bad as anything else. And so and for all its faults, I do got to give credit to CG. Like they've actually turned into complaining about bad comics, but they still do, mind you. But they actually make their own comics now. So it's like they've went from like calling out the problem to be a part of the solution. And love or hate Comicsgate, you know, that's your choice. But like, I do got to give them credit for actually doing something about it. You may not agree with like what they're doing, but at least they're doing something. You know, that's my stance.
Who the hell is this great uncle? Tina, for the uninitiated, Lloyd Kaufman is the founder and creator of Troma Studios, and he's kind of jokingly known as everybody's uncle, Uncle Lloyd. So yeah, I'm referring to Uncle Lloyd, the honorary uncle to all the weirdos and creeps. But it's funny because that's actually something that people talk to me about. Like, Christoph, why don't you have a Vagrant comic? And it's like, I don't even know where to begin doing that. Like, I barely know how to point a camera at myself and talk. You know what I mean? I don't know how guys like you and what's his the Rippaverse. What's his July?
Eric July. Yeah.
I don't know where these people. I don't know how they find the funding and the time and energy to do a comic. Like, I can barely get anyone to do art for like 1 or 2 panels on my show. You want me to do a whole book? Come on, dude.
Yeah. And it's really like hard for me because like I'm pretty low income. Like sometimes I even shock myself at how I do all this stuff. Now, granted, I do benefit from like momentum and whatnot that I have, so like that helps a lot. You know, the fact that like currently I have momentum and whatnot. But like, yeah, a lot of it's luck and a lot of it's finding people to do stuff for certain prices and whatnot. Like the fact that like I have comics now that I can do shows and like that pays for the production of the book, so I've got a nice kind of like cycle going, you know.
Yeah, because we got a whole bunch of comics. I got a whole bunch of comics that I'm going to be talking about tonight. But no, Screecher is very good. Like I said, I have the PDFs for Samurai, and my mother was worried she forgot about an uncle. No, it's an expression, Mom. Don't worry. The dementia hasn't kicked in that hard yet.
Oh, your mother's in the stream. That's adorable.
Yeah. I unapologetically will admit my biggest fan is my mother and my little brother.
She better be.
Like, I know, right?
Your mother better be your biggest fan. Like, Jesus Christ,
I know.
I swear.
You're off to a bad start if your own mom isn't your biggest fan.
Yeah, right.
But now you don't do the art yourself. You don't draw out 21 Samurai. 21
No,
Samurai
if I did, the comic would just be a bunch of stick figures, and well, I'm sure there's some people who'd be into that. Not many.
I think something. Yeah, not. Yeah, that's pretty much the big reason that
I do the writing though. I am the writer on these, so
yeah.
like I am the writer and I am like the project lead. So like, my vision is the guiding light of this project. So like an artist will be like, you know, like when I'm creating a character, it'll be like I send them references, like visual references, and be like, hey, is this what you want?
Yeah.
You know, like kind of thing. So yeah, like this is my vision. Like I'm both these, like I'm the writer director, basically, if you want to put it into Hollywood terms.
Yeah. But and issue 3 was just funded. We have your link tree, and I believe we had the link for
and Screecher 2 is coming this fall.
Oh, there's going to be that. I'm assuming that'll be crowdfunded too.
Yes, I'll be putting that one on Kickstarter this fall.
See, I actually kind of like Kickstarter.
Yeah, I know. I actually used Kickstarter for like my very, very first project, and then I switched to Indiegogo. And I do like Indiegogo. I'm not like, it's just Kickstarter has some advantages. Like it has a lot better reach. It's the name brand. It's what people know. Like the way I'd like to say it, Indiegogo is the Pepsi to Kickstarter's Coke. Like that's how I would kind of compare the two.
That is the single best endorsement I've ever heard, actually. Because
another Coke enjoyer. I love Coca-Cola. Yeah. Seriously, I have an addiction.
I'm right there with you. I mean, look, I did this to myself, but yeah, no, 90% of why I look pregnant is because of Coca-Cola.
Fuck yeah! Oh, sorry. Like seriously, like if I was on camera, I would look pregnant. Trust me, I got that same problem going on myself. But anyway, but yeah. So I just think I was talking about like Screecher and Kickstarter. I kind of want to finish that thought first. We're going on.
Go for it.
So like basically, I'm going back to Kickstarter with Screecher because, for one, I know that Screecher is by far my better. Like it's the one that people are tend to latch onto. And I know that Screecher would play well on Kickstarter. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a female superhero. It's like Batman inspired. I mean, Screecher was designed to be a general audience book. Screecher was designed for like mass popularity. I kind of made it with that in mind. You know what I'm saying? And it worked. You know, and I think
apparently it did. I mean, you succeeded.
Yeah, very well, actually. I was surprised at the reception. I mean, I'm thankful, but like, yeah, surprised at the same time.
Well, for me personally, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. You were finishing.
No, go ahead.
So, and this kind of goes back to what I was saying about social media and people being addicted to negativity. You know, it's annoying because like I see some of these people use that hashtag comics broke me stuff, and it's like, I look at what these people did and like what were they working on, and it's like, well, I don't know what else you expected, man. Because like one of the things for me personally, the reason I like all these comics that I have stacked here with me. Oh, that's creepy. The white screen for some reason is triggering the green screen. Anyway,
Oh
though,
wow.
yeah, it's weird. I have a hole in my chest now. Anyway, but for me personally, when I read a book or play a game or something, um, for me, one of the things that actually I find a lot of fun with is I like to see where it started from, like what inspired it. Because I always talk about how I wouldn't be anywhere without Hitchcock or H.P. Lovecraft, and it's funny because people try to insult me and just say that I'm just a millennial H.P. Lovecraft, and it's like that's an incredibly high compliment for me. I hope that I am anywhere near. By the time I get put in the grave, I hope that I am at least somewhere near Master Lovecraft's level. And these people think it's an insult. But one of the reasons I liked Screecher so much is I could see a lot of other comics, like you mentioned, Batman was a big inspiration. I'm assuming it was a big inspiration.
Well, considering that I literally memorialize Kevin Conroy on the credits page, it's
Yeah,
and I literally say, for without him, this comic would not be possible.
yeah. And but like back to my point, but what I was saying is, I feel like a lot of these new creators and these what's the term, creatives that work for these big studios that are suddenly realizing, oh crud, nobody wants to buy our comics, nobody wants to go see our movie. It's like, well, yeah, because we can tell you don't love it.
Yeah,
I love.
it's like you have these series come out like these video game, like you kind of like going in the video game realm. You have these video game adaptations where these creatives are literally bragging about how, oh, we didn't play the game. We literally banned people from playing the game. Like with The Last of Us, they deliberately banned people from playing the game. Or Halo, oh, we didn't play the game before
Oh,
making the series, and it freaking shows.
please,
Like
please be
the
careful
only
mentioning
reason,
Halo. You're gonna give the bishop in the corner an ulcer. He loved Halo, and thankfully, I think he's never seen the show. So,
yes, he does not want to see Master Cheeks.
Master, or wait, hold on. Let's take a quick poll amongst the people in the crowd here. What was more disturbing, seeing Master Chief's butt or having him become a zombified corpse controlled by an AI?
I mean, honestly, just the
Oh,
fact that he takes his
spoiler warning.
helmet off at the end of the first episode, that alone will have him have an aneurysm.
Yeah, but like I said, it's like these people they don't love what they're working on, and it shows. I mean, I well, it does. You would think you shouldn't have to explain to someone, Superman fans aren't going to want to see him get sodomized by Soviets, you know, but they have
Yeah,
to learn this lesson.
like not only is he having sex with a person, he's having sex with a known spy.
Yeah,
He's
and it's like,
literally
well,
fraternizing with the enemy.
that's putting it nicely. Um,
Yes, I'm doing it very delicately.
but yeah, but and that's one of the reasons that I like all these comics is because I can pick up any of them and go, okay, I see exactly where this came from,
Well,
and
yeah,
it's
I mean, my edict
bizarre.
when I'm creating, and this is like what I always tell people, is write with passion, write well. Like this is what I always tell writers. You need to be, if you're not in love with what you're doing, you need to be the first fan of your story. Like you need to
Yeah,
be the very first fan, and you need to love it. You need to love it dearly. If you don't love your story, if the thought of working on your story does not fill you with joy, if the thought of like working on your story, reading it, if it doesn't fill you with excitement, if talking about your story doesn't make you excited, then don't fucking do it.
Yeah, you're just gonna waste
It's
your
not
time.
worth doing, because when you write with passion, like when it shows up in the work. Like it's kind of like this like little nebulous like X factor, but when you're passionate about something, it shows up in the work. Like Lord of the Rings, the trilogy, would not have been made if Peter Jackson was not passionate about the books. Like
Yeah.
like knowing the 20-year journey that it took to get that on the screen, the hardships he had to endure. Like for
The
example, like
injuries.
Peter
People were hurt on
Peter Jackson once he said in interviews, when things got to be their worst, he just kind of take a few steps from the set and he just like breathe and just say to himself, what would I rather be doing right now? Literally anything else or directing the Lord of the Rings. And every time he said that to himself, he felt better. That is
Yeah.
a man who is passionate, and it showed on screen.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing is like that's what I don't understand about these people who are crying about comics broke me. It's like I don't think it was the comics that broke you, dude. I think it was the fact that you prioritized showing us, Superman being sodomized. And I know I'm harping on that example, but I mean we could pick 1,000 others. I mean you mentioned the Lord of the
Punisher,
Rings.
what they're doing to the Punisher.
Oh,
Like that, like
I'm not a
that's just that like honestly, it's a form of passion. They're passionate in their hatred of Frank Castle. Like
yeah.
like it's a passionate hatred. Like it's like a steaming boiled hatred. And I wouldn't say even really say hate like Punisher. It's just what Punisher represents to the people that they despise.
What they see it as. I mean, I was gonna say I'm not even a huge Punisher fan per se,
Me neither,
and
but
even
like
I
what
was insulted
me
by
neither,
that.
but like what they did to the character is honestly just disgusting.
It was blindly hateful and apparent. Like, and see, that's the funny thing too is, as a writer myself, yeah, I'm not a big fan of some characters I work with in my stories. I mean, our big main villain, Lawrence, every other day I hear people complain about like it's really I don't know if it's I'm not sure if that's okay. You should be having a villain who's that kind of person. It's like, well, he's the villain. He's supposed to make you feel that way. But at the same time, it's like, you know, he's an important part of it. And of course I'm not gonna just stop using him because he's controversial. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, but like you see these people and they're working on these projects they clearly hate. And personally, me, who was it? Was it? I believe it was a Reverend King, Martin Luther King. What was his famous quote? I just don't have the strength to carry the burden of hatred. I think that was what he said. I believe
I
that
mean,
was the quote.
the quote that I always quote from him is, "Judge a person not by the color of their skin, but the content of their character." You know.
Yeah, that's another great one.
Yeah, Spanger.
But anyway, yeah, it's and like I said, pretty much all of these comics, you can see that they were from a place of, like you said, passion and love and respect. And the thing I think that has me scratching my head the most, I have decided to stick to love. Hate is too great of a burden to bear. That's the quote. That's what he said. Hate is too great of a burden to bear. As I was
Yeah,
saying,
like I always kind of go back to, there's some quotes like Doctor Who. Um, it's like love is like there, like he like his final speech. Like he talks about like just being kind, like never be cruel or cowardly. Let me actually look it up because it's just a banger.
yeah, but no, it's like I really am left scratching my head. It's like, well, what were you expecting people to react to your comic? You know, and
Yeah,
and that's the thing too is like people are saying, oh, the comic industry is dying. The comic industry is dying, and it's like, what on earth are you smoking? Like seriously, like I'm not. I know we joked a minute ago about me having a problem with collecting indie comics and stuff, but it's like I know people who put my little pile to shame I don't think the comic industry is at all in danger right now.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
Like I would say the mainstream, like they're heading in a bad place for sure.
yeah,
All right,
agree.
I got the quote ready for you.
Okay, you got it. Here we go.
Yep. I'm gonna do a very bad Scottish accent here, so just bear with me. Never be cruel, never be cowardly. Remember, hate is always foolish. Love is always wise. Always try to be nice, but never fail to be kind.
You know, maybe if some of these people who are broke now kept that kind of mentality in mind, they wouldn't have this problem.
Exactly. Like,
I
because
mean,
here's the thing. Like, here's the thing is, these people are what they're in is what I like to call a negative reinforcement cycle. Okay, and this was a choice that I made a few years ago, and it made my life so much better. So the negative reinforcement cycle goes like this. Okay, you think negative thoughts. All right. So and thus kind of your world is shaped by how you think.
oh yeah,
And so you pick up on all the negative stuff, and it reinforces that already preconceived notion, and thus it makes you even more negative, and it's just a spiral downwards. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You think negatively, you see the negative stuff, you act in a negative manner, and people don't want to be around negative people. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And so it affects your relationships, affects your life, and it just spirals down. Meanwhile, a positive reinforcement cycle is you think positive, or at least you try to, because no one's perfect, not even me.
Yeah.
And so you think positively, you see the positive stuff in life, and people want to be around positive people. It's a magnet kind of thing. And so even if your life doesn't get better, it starts to. So it's like it's a spiral upwards. And
Yeah.
I will tell you, I made the conscious decision to get out of a negative reinforcement cycle and into a positive one. And I swear almost overnight my life started to get so much better. Like people started to be more friendly to me. My relationship with my friends got so much better. My life improved dramatically. And that's just how I do things, how I deal things. It's like, sure, I'll complain sometimes. Like, yeah, I'm allowed to not like things. And
Yeah.
and some days I have bad days. I'm just a human being. Prick me, I bleed. But like overall, I try and be positive. And I think that is one of the reasons why I'm as successful as I am, at least on Twitter, is I run my Twitter with very positive. Like, sure, I'll complain, sure, I'll make quips, sure, I'll take down stuff, but overall, I try and run my Twitter as a very positive place. It's a place to have fun, joke around. Sure, you can complain, but like my thing here's this my rule is thus: disagreement is okay, disrespect is not. Like, you can disagree with anything I say. You can say I'm wrong. You can say I'm way off course. That is perfectly fine. You want to say I'm wrong. You want to say I'm call me out for whatever. Go right ahead. I encourage that. What I will not encourage is insults, harassment.
Yeah.
Like,
There's
you
a
want to call
line.
me I'm wrong? Fine. You want to call me a stupid poopy head? Sorry, like wrong example, but you get what I'm
Yeah, I
saying.
know. Well, no, it's funny because the bishop is always so hard on me about cursing, and like 5 minutes into this, you dropped an F bomb.
That
So I
that
was
one
just,
is accidental. I didn't. I was trying. I've been trying to be a good boy on this stream.
oh, dude, you have see. That's the problem. Is I curse like a sailor everywhere else,
I do too, but
and
like I try to keep myself in check.
I just have to look over at the bishop in the corner there. It's like, oh god.
Is he glaring at you? Like is he just
Not
like
right now.
giving
This
you?
second, he's kind of distracted. I think he's actually looking up Doctor Who. But oh, there. Yep. Nope. There it is. There's the look. I just hope he doesn't have a ruler. nearby.
What he needs to do is he needs to get like a cattle prod, and like every time
he
he
can hear
like
you.
activates it.
He can hear you. Don't give him ideas.
See, here's the one negative trait that I kind of refuse to get away with. I can kind of be a chaotician sometimes. Like I sometimes like to cause a little bit of like good-natured chaos. It's kind of like it's kind of like, you know, I got a little bit of Loki in me, you know, from the Avengers, where it's like I like some chaos sometimes. Nothing too bad. I don't want to like screw people over, but just, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes a little pot stirring is fun, but within reason.
See, my problem is that I have just a really I'm a very mean-spirited sense of humor, so I get it from my grandparents, honestly. And it's funny because the other day we had a spike, and I actually got to 400 subscribers.
Oh,
And
congrats.
this morning when I checked it, we lost 4 subscribers again. And I was like, was it something I said? And then I was like, it probably was.
Yeah, like honestly, sometimes it's like I know, like, all right, this tweet's gonna lose me subscribers, and I do, and like a day or two later, I'm like, yep, I lost subscribers, but it's like I'm kind of at the point where it's like, unless I have like a mass exodus of subscribers, I'm not gonna cry over like 5 or 10 people subscribing. You know,
Yeah,
unsubscribing.
it's a thing. It always goes up and down.
Yeah, it is the way it is. Especially like once you get to like where I'm at, like I have over 2,000 followers on Twitter. You know, it's like I'm not gonna intentionally try and, you know, be a jack, but like,
yeah,
I'm not gonna cry over some people. You know, whatever.
yeah. And to be fair, I think part of it is also people just take themselves too damn seriously. Like everyone is a crusader. Everyone is, you know, going to save the world somehow or something. It's like, buddy,
Screw saving the world. I just want to make cool comics. That's my thing. Like, screw saving the world. I just want to make some cool comics and have a living. And, you know, make a living making cool comics. You know.
I mean, do you know how many eldritch, nightmarish beings I work with? Saving the world is not on my list of priorities. Okay, I'm just
No.
going to say that right now. Friggin', y'all better just keep hoping the sun doesn't turn black, because Razzoth's going to just wreck all of you.
Now, granted, all things being equal, I do try my best to make the people's lives around me better. Like, I try to be nice to people. You know, if I see someone on the street, you know, I'll give them a smile or wave. I like lifting people up. You know, I do enjoy that. You know, I like making people's lives better and whatnot. But that's just more just like small stuff for the people around you. You know, like, even though I don't want to save the world, I don't want to be the person. I don't want to contribute to dragging it down, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I like this world. I mean, all my stuff is here.
Why do you want to save? Why do you want to save this universe? Because I'm one of the people who lives in it.
Exactly.
That is low key one of the greatest lines ever written.
Probably. Like, well, this is where all my stuff is. Do you know how hard it is to transport a zombified eldritch dog across realities?
Please tell me you've done like a TikTok of "Behold my stuff."
I don't have a TikTok. Oh, whoa, there we go.
Yeah, sorry, the bishop was I think the man in charge of stuff isn't a Marvel fan. He's like, why did you do that? Why did you do that, you dirty rat?
Actually, you know, I've never actually asked you, Bishop, DC or Marvel? I've distracted him.
Mm-hmm. Cool. While he's distracted, we steal all his stuff.
He said DC. I don't know if you guys could pick him up or not.
Okay, I like this. I like this one. I'm also DC.
See, me personally, you want to talk about my favorite comics? EC. Entertainment comics. Yes, I am that old. Actually, okay. I'm
not. Yeah, you're not, because EC was doing its thing in the 50s, bro. You like, yeah. Okay, you look old. You look like an old fart, but you don't look like that old of a fart. that, ladies and gentlemen, is called a backhanded compliment. That, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen,
sorry,
is
we
called a
lost you for
backhanded
a second
compliment.
there. We lost you for a second there. There you go. That totally was an
regret
accident.
nothing.
Oh, he says it actually was an accident. But no, I'm completely with EC. I love Tales from the Crypt. I have a book actually. It's an archive of like a lot of them somewhere off in my lair. But anyway, yeah. Honestly, I kind of resent DC Comics a little bit because of the fact DC Comics was right there. They jumped on the bandwagon with the government censorship and fought against EC a lot, from what I remember and understand. So I've always kind of begrudged DC. I don't think Marvel was around back then.
Well, okay. Here's the thing about Marvel. Marvel, as we know it, started in the '60s, but they had been around in some form or another since the Golden Age. Because remember, Captain America, like literally, the issue came out a few months before Pearl Harbor. Like Captain America predates Pearl Harbor.
That's right.
But back then they were called Timely Comics.
I found it.
And so there was Marvel Comics in the '50s, but they basically made like horror comics, romance comics. Like Stan Lee actually got his start writing like horror comics back in the '50s. I mean,
yeah.
But like they didn't start doing hero comics until like '62 with the rise of Fantastic Four. Like, you know the story, like Stan Lee wanted to exit the business, and his wife told him, like, hey, if you're going to exit the business, just do a story your way. What's the worst that can happen? They fire you? And so he did it. It worked out well, and then he just created that whole pantheon in the '60s. You got to realize Marvel in the '60s, they were the counterculture of comics back in the '60s. Like, DC was the establishment back in like the '50s and the '60s.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about now, but like, yeah.
But yeah, no, I found it. This is volume 1 of the archives of EC Tales from the Crypt, actually.
Yeah, EC Comics were really they're really pushing the envelope back in the '50s. Like, honestly, if you look at some of their stuff, it's actually grotesque and disturbing even by today's standards.
I'm willing to agree with you on that. At the same time, I still say that Gaines did nothing wrong. He did not deserve to be put in a federal prison for refusing censorship laws. Personally,
well, what he did wrong is he refused to bow down. That's the thing.
Which,
like, yeah, because here's the thing: is there's always a media that the government likes to use as a scapegoat. In the '50s, it was comics. Nowadays, it's video games. You know what I'm saying? Hell, in the 1900s, it was ragtime. In the 30s, it was movies. In the 50s, it was like television. 50s and television and comics. It's always the new media that people are calling for, like the death of everything.
Remember when jazz was the devil's tongue, and like a vast majority of jazz songs were actually gospel?
Well, that has more of a racism component to it. So like that the jazz hate discussion is more of a separate thing because that one has a heavy racial component to it, and I don't want to kind of get into that.
Mad Magazine, yes, Gaines also made Mad. I don't remember if Mad was under the EC banner. I don't know if they still exist.
Well, the thing that Mad did is Mad went from a comic book to a magazine because there were less by having Mad be a magazine. It actually there was less restrictions on magazines than there were comics. So Mad was able to push the envelope a lot more because remember, Playboy is a magazine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if Playboy can exist as a magazine in the '50s, I mean, Mad can just do whatever they want in that case.
Yeah.
So that's how Mad Magazine survived, is by becoming a magazine instead of a comic.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I love comics. I mean, I'm gonna take a wild guess and say you're probably a bigger fan than I am. You could probably tell us a lot more. about comics, but
I mean, I was just giving you like a big history lesson, so
yeah.
I'd say yeah.
Well, but no. So as I was reading through this mountain of comic books, actually, I kind of noticed something, and I want to ask you as a creator,
All right.
because I said I wasn't going to sit here and just like kiss people's backsides and stuff. I was going to be fair and say what was good, what was bad about these different comics.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed something when I was taking down my notes and stuff, when I was actually checking this over. With all
Right.
the comic books, I said that they all kind of felt slightly rushed. And so I wanted to ask, from a creator standpoint, is there a sense of kind of urgency and rush between the panels and stuff? Like some of these comics, like there's literally one of them where there's a panel where people are being attacked by this sea monster creature thing, and then the next page it's a completely different topic. It's resolved, and I'm like, that was kind of fast. And I don't know.
So what you're talking about is pacing, like that. That's what you're like. You're talking about like the pacing of the story, not the production of the comic. Like I think that
Yeah.
All
Well,
right. So yeah,
yeah,
you're talking about story flow and pacing. So
yeah.
um,
And as someone who's made scripts for comics and stuff, is there kind of a pressure to keep that pace at a higher rate and
I wouldn't
move?
say a pressure, but like I think the best way to answer the question is to more talk about how I approach that kind of topic in comics. So when I'm writing a script, I'm very key on like the flow. Like I kind of treat script writing as like writing a song because I do have come from a little bit of a musical background, and music is like ebb and flow. Conflict resolution. Shave and a haircut, 2 bits. You got your peaks, you got your valleys. And like I have a love affair with like I love those moments where it just kind of slams down into you. You know, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
like the bass drop moments, kind of stuff like that. So, like, when I'm writing it, I'm very cognizant about how the dialogue, the story beats, they need to have a flow to it. Like, it needs to have a nice pace to it. And everything needs to kind of go together. And it needs to, like what you said, where it's like they're fighting a monster and then all of a sudden they're on a different thing. I'd call that a pacing issue. I'd call that a flow issue. Like I'd say the person who was writing that wasn't really concerned about like how one scene flows into the other, and that's something that writer needs to work on. Like I'm trying to be, I'm not trying to
Yeah.
like tear down the work. I don't even know what we're talking about here, but
Well, yeah.
like there needs to
Well,
be a lot of writing, and this is where a problem where a lot of writers tend to f up is a lot of writers, especially nowadays, they think in moments. Like, oh, this moment would be so cool. Like this happens and this happens and this happens and this happens. Going from
yeah.
A B to C. Where the problem where a lot of writers falter is in those transition, the thread, like the connective tissue. Like take Game of Thrones, for example, especially in the later seasons, sure, you had great moments that happened, like this happened, that happened, but like the connective tissue was very weak or non-existent,
Um.
or sometimes you had to bend your plot over backwards, or oh, somehow Daenerys forgot about the Iron Fleet, stuff like that, because like you had to kill the dragon, you had to kill two of the, you had to kill off, like one of the dragons. So it's like, how do we do that? You had to bend your plot over and have your way with it and whatnot.
It's funny you mentioned Game of Thrones because the bishop was a big fan of Game of Thrones, and he is just like he, he looks about ready to kill someone.
See, Game of Thrones is a perfect example of the best writing ever and also the worst writing ever. It is insane how like the dichotomy, like the
Sir,
like,
have you seen Rings of Power?
so given the fact that I am talking coherently and I still have one or two brain cells left, the answer is obviously no.
Oh,
If like this is the reason why I didn't watch Wheel of Time past like half the first episode, because I'm a huge Wheel of Time fan. Like I've read all the books. I started reading it in middle school back in like 99 2000. So like this has been a core part of like my life for a long time. Fucking hell did they massacre it? Sorry. I'm sorry.
I knew it. I felt it coming. Oh, I think
I watched
smoke is
half
coming out of the
part
bishop's
of the
ears.
first episode, and it's just the changes like right from the fucking get go. They massacred it. Like, the breaking happened because of stupid men. Like the thing about Wheel of Time is it has gender dynamics, but they're very well played out. Like the women are like yeah.
Yeah.
The women are
bishop's ears
powerful, the
bleeding.
men are powerful. It's very well done gender dynamics in the books. And they just took it and just like took it out back. They old yelled it and they took it back in the shed and they practiced some necrophilia like and then they chopped it up. Like after they had done a little bit of penile depositing into every orifice, they're like, okay, we need to get some stew on. So they hacked off. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going vulgar with this.
Oh no, I you're good. I mean, what are they gonna do? Demonetize me?
You can tell I'm a writer.
Howdy.
Like,
I'm
sorry, you can tell I'm a writer.
We might need an ambulance for the bishop over here. Can we get an ambulance out into the desert?
By the way, that was all improv. By the way, so.
Oh.
I just wanted to point that out. Like, I didn't even write any of that down. I was just riffing.
Oh boy, howdy though. But yeah, we're still alive. They haven't shut us down for that. They old
YouTube moderator watching this is like, what the fuck?
Where did that come from?
Oh, certainly came somewhere.
No, we're still alive. Yep, we are still here.
Yes.
Oh boy.
But watch, it's just gonna have a big red X over it.
It's just gonna turn off.
Yeah. So if the stream suddenly goes down, it's my fault.
Well, that's what we're gonna say. That or we'll blame.
I will be your Oswald. Just don't shoot me outside the police station, please.
Oh no, I don't have a gun.
At least be a good date and take me out to the alleyway first.
I half expected a joke about like Applebee's or something.
Remember, if your first date doesn't end in an alleyway, you
is it really a first date?
You haven't used enough drugs. That I know. I knew I was going way over the line with that one. I just like, yep, I'm going for it. That was a joke, people. That was a joke. That was a joke.
So, Christoph, why don't you have guests on your show more often? Yeah. So, wow, we got off topic, huh?
Yeah, I got a little bit too loose with my words there.
Wow, it's almost we've been doing this for like 50 minutes now.
Yeah, I'm a talker. It happens.
Well, no, it's funny because I remember like, okay, so in order to keep this at a steady pace, like we should just 20, 30 minutes, and it's like, yeah, no, we got stuff to talk about. Now, I'm actually curious because I was gonna have the bishop boot you, but I actually wondered if you would like to give your opinion on some of our other comics and hang out while I talk about these.
I can stay around for a little bit longer. I do need to start on dinner sometime though, but yeah.
I always start on dinner before we even do this.
Well, you're smarter than I am, so.
Well, no. So another one we have here, and this is actually, I have 4 of these. Have you heard of Redemption from Worthy Chaos?
Vaguely. Is that a religious comic?
It has like demons and angels in it. Yeah, it's I'd say it's religious in the same way that like Buffy the Vampire Slayer was.
So basically not at all.
Not really. It references stuff, but that's about
It's
it.
more of like we're gonna do Christian mythology, but we're not. It's not actually a religious comic.
Yeah.
It's
How
about as
they
religious as Spawn.
basically. But no, what sucks is that actually we were gonna trying to get the creator on our show too, but unfortunately at the last second he had a meeting to go to, and unfortunately we weren't able to get him. But no, I got the first 4 issues, and I believe issue number 5, Mr. Bishop, I believe I sent you links to him. I believe issue 5 is about to go live in the near future, very soon.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, hold on, I'm gonna try and show these off. There's all kinds of creepy stuff. They really like their Egyptian critters.
Ooh, I love that cover.
Oh yeah, no, I believe this is actually a special cover. This is not the normal one.
It's fancy.
But the bishop is looking at me funny. Oh, hey, there we go. Yeah, Worthy Chaos Redemption. Yeah. But as I was saying, a lot like yours, actually, a lot like Screecher. I can very clearly look at it and see what inspired it. It's something kind of weird about this comic book. Actually, is it literally feels old. Like they really? I don't know how they do it, but they feel like a comic from the '90s. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, Screecher also is kind of like a '90s inspired book as well.
Yeah, but I'm saying like physically they feel like an old comic.
It's probably like the paper, like type of paper they use.
Different kind of paper, yeah. And it's dark and bloody. What's funny is on every issue, on the inside of the cover, there's a warning about gore and profanity. And it's like that's what you want to see when you open up a comic book, is like, by the way.
Yeah, I kind of do something with Turn Samurai where it literally says for mature audiences only on the cover.
Yeah. And see, personally me, oh yes, Mr. Bishop, don't worry, the dogs are here. The dogs are here. Yeah. No, I have.
So you let the dogs out?
Oh.
Hey, I'm sure you'd much rather I be doing bad puns than that.
Going back on that Wheel of Time.
Well, no, the Wheel of Time thing was just good rant. I was referring to that very distasteful joke I made earlier.
Yeah.
That may or may not get me canceled 5 years down the line.
We're not going to even talk about. We're not even going to address that because I'd like to have a career.
But me too.
But anyway, no, these are really good, especially again, just unapologetically, in older style. There's an expression, they don't make them this way anymore, and I really feel like Worthy Chaos kind of nailed that. Like I said, very very strong Buffy the Vampire Slayer kind of attitude. Yeah, it does seem to have. It feels kind of like it has a pacing problem, but like not anything that took me out of it per se. See, I'm wondering where my sister and my mother are, because they loved Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I think they'd really like these.
Yeah, I'm actually a huge Buffy fan, so you have my attention.
Yeah, no, these are actually really cool. Yeah, we got the link in there for it. I really do wish we could have got him on here, because I don't know how many issues there are going to be in this series, or if there's even a specific plan or what. Which actually is a question. With Screecher and 2100 Samurai, is there a set number of how many issues they're going to have, or?
Well, right now I'm working towards a full volume 1 for both of those. So Screecher is intended to have 4 issues in volume 1, and then Turn Samurai is intended to have 5 issues in volume 1. So, like, we're getting close. We're about kind of like the halfway mark for Turn Samurai.
Yeah.
The other thing about Turn Samurai is there's 2 story arcs in volume 1, so issue 1 and 2 were a story arc traveling, and then issue 3 marks the beginning of a 3-part story arc called The Vow, and so this is like The Vow part 1.
Okay, so it's a little bit more fragmented, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, like I was saying, I wouldn't say it has any real problem with pacing. I'd say these are very good books. Somewhere around here, actually, Worthy Chaos actually sent me a plushie of a little mouse called Apollo.
I need to do a Screecher plushie so bad.
What's funny is my little brother Sean, who is currently in Greece, instead of causing chaos in the street. There he is. Oh, God. Yeah, this is Apollo.
That is so adorable. I really need to do a Screecher plushie because I know like that would go over so well with my fans. Like they would just go crazy for it.
That would yeah, a little chibi Screecher would be adorable. But
I just don't know a place that can get them made for a decent price.
See, there are so many things I would do that's literally my answers. I don't know how to, because my little brother Sean always jokes, you should make a plushie of the Vagrant or of Cookie from Perfectly Natural. And it's like, how? I literally don't know what I'm doing. That's the thing that sucks, is because this whole channel, all these stories are my creation and stuff. People think that I know what I'm doing. And it's like, I don't even know how we got this stream to work. You know what I mean, dude?
Luck.
Basically. Luck and a lot of
stupid doodah luck.
And a lot of patience from the bishop.
Yes.
I literally thought he actually punched his computer while we were trying to make this whole thing work, actually. But
well, that's a good way to lose money.
Oh yeah, he didn't though. He just slammed his fist on the table. But yeah, no.
Ow.
Redemption. It's a really cool comic series. It is a bit on the faster side, I feel like, but if you liked Buffy, if you like, Supernatural, I put in the same category. I guess Supernatural kind of goes there too. And I think I'm like 90% sure they mentioned that they are going to start a Kickstarter for issue 5 here very soon, if it hasn't already started.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get your own little Apollo.
Yeah, so Screecher is a bit kind of faster paced, but Turn Samurai is definitely a bit more slower paced with the stories. Because originally, Turn Samurai was originally designed to be just an ongoing series where each issue was like largely standalone. You know, where like each issue I kind of tell a complete story in each one, and like some elements carry over, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So with Turn Samurai, there was kind of a lot of like retrofitting, like, okay, let's kind of take because like Turn Samurai is meant to be an American manga, and once I complete all 5 issues all in a 4 Screecher, I'm actually going to do a separate campaign for a collected edition, like a graphic novel trade paperback.
Yeah,
like
I have one of those here.
Yeah, Turn Samurai I'm going to release in a manga format, and that's going to be really cool. And I'm going to do like some fixes, like for Turn Samurai issue, like it's all going to be because with issue 3, I'm kind of trying a new art style where it's like the artist, he's doing grayscale, and then for the people who bought the collector's edition, you get there's also the edition of like the color red, limited colors. Basically, the entire the entire manga is going to be the Blood and Steel edition, kind of thing. So and so all of issue 1 is going to get redrawn, and then issue 2 is going to get shaded and colored. So it's all unified, basically.
I'm trying to remember now if I got
and then like small fixes here and there, kind of thing.
See, now I'm trying to remember if I got the special edition or not, because I know I backed it.
The $100 edition is the Blood and Steel.
I'm 90% sure I didn't put that much in.
Well, I appreciate it nonetheless.
Yeah. Not because I don't want to or not worth it. I mean, I'm just a po' boy who works at a Target. You know what I mean?
I totally understand, and I appreciate whatever money you can spare.
Yeah, which of course goes to everyone in the chat too. I mean, we
I
have
mean, the fact that people are willing to spend money on my comic at all, whatever the amount is, I don't care if it's $1, $100. The fact that people want to spend money on my comics is crazy. Like,
I
it is
know.
so surreal, the fact that like people want to spend money on my stuff. It is so crazy.
We went to the Curiosities and Oddities Expo last October, and it was such an unreal experience because somebody actually recognized the Vagrant, which is saying something because we had a new mask, but they still recognized the antlers and the whole thing. And I still to this day am like, how?
Yeah, I haven't gotten to that point yet where like I get recognized out in public, kind of thing. That's gonna be a weird, like that's gonna like I mean that day's gonna happen eventually, but like that is gonna be a very weird day because like I'll be both thrilled and just like holy
horrified.
crap, it actually happened.
You know what's gonna be even weirder for you? Someday you're gonna see somebody cosplaying Screecher.
Oh dear God! Oh dear God! Please, for the love of God, let it be decent cosplay because like it's gonna be so awkward if like the first Screecher, like I mean, bless their hearts. If like it's like kind of like not
trying their best.
Trying their best. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. Because like you appreciate it, but it's like I don't know. I feel like what I just said was kind of a dickish thing to say, though. I probably shouldn't talk like that.
Well, see, for me personally, the thing I'm dreading as I become more famous and stuff like that, I am not ready for fan art of Mommy Aya and Daddy Razov.
So I've gotten fan art of Screecher before, and it's honestly all of the stuff I've gotten is pretty good. But you want to know what both of us are dreading? Our first Rule 34 fan art.
Yeah, that's what scares me because I know he probably lives in the bushes somewhere. The man out there in the bushes, he's just waiting to Rule 34. Mother,
you want to know one of my favorite YouTube videos ever is someone made a fan art of like pregnant Ichigo from Bleach. Like they made yaoi kind of thing of like Ichigo pregnant, and they went to an anime convention, and they actually asked Johnny Young Bosch, the voice of Ichigo from Bleach, to sign it. And they actually filmed it. And what's great is like you see him just kind of stare at it for a moment, and he's like looks at him like, really? And then he just kind of like sighs and just like signs it and hands it back to him like, fine. It is like the best thing ever, and God bless him for being such a good sport.
Yeah, I'm still just not ready for it. I don't think I'll ever be ready for that.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be full Vic Manana and like refuse to sign Yaoi, but I will give them like some very like I'll give them grief, but I'm not going to be playful about it. Like like I'm not going to insult them, but I will kind of like just playfully rib them for it, like
yeah. Oh boy, howdy.
And now if I was an enterprising person, I'd be like, just so you know, there is an upcharge for Yaoi. Like, if you want me to sign Corner Yaoi, there is an upcharge to it.
I'm going to need therapy for signing this piece of fan art, so you're going to have to pay.
Yes, you're going to have to contribute to the What Have I Seen fund.
Yeah. We'll call
like I'm going to have to get eyeball replacement surgery because after looking at this, my eyes are like the scar tissue has crusted over my eyes, blinding me from everything.
We'll have to call up Gothic Therapy and like make them give us a referral. It's like, okay, so this is how much they're gonna charge us. So this is how much you're gonna pay.
Also, I just want to say
that.
I love those people so much. Like those people are like some of the most gracious people you've ever met. Like,
yeah,
I talk to TDS on Twitter sometimes, and he's been a good help to me. We've kind of talked about some stuff. He's, and like I just gotta say, he's a really great person. I don't really talk to Writing Raven as much. We mostly just kind of have like Twitter interactions. But she's just a great person too.
She's just a wonder to talk to.
They're both lovely people.
They are. I actually don't talk to them as much as some people might think, because I do mention them a lot, but mainly because it's like I don't want to bug them. I honestly feel like they got way more important things to deal with.
I get it. My thing is, like, if I have to ask them something and it takes them a week to respond, I just don't sweat it, because like, hey, I get it. They're busy. I'm just happy they responded.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, if they take a while to respond, it's like, yeah, hey, whatever. I get it.
A couple. It wasn't last week. Was it the week before? We were talking about cursed objects. I actually talked a lot to Master about Dybbuk's, the Dybbuk box and stuff like that. And it was funny because I felt bad, like I was bugging him. And he was like, okay, first of all, no, stop that. You're not a bother. You're not a pain, anything like that. If there's something that you need to say or ask me, then you do that.
In all fairness, you realize the kind of crap he gets on Twitter every day.
Oh.
Like the kind of like actual harassment he gets. Like whatever you're doing is nothing compared to like the crap he has to deal. Like, can you imagine? Like, I don't know if his DMs are open, but if they were, just imagine the filth that comes in there. So someone like pestering him about whatever, it's like, oh, this is like, compared to all this stuff, this is a walk in the park. So
yeah,
he's, I don't like,
one of these days I need to actually
speak for itself, but I think you're good.
One of these days I actually want to get them onto a show. Although
I've tried a couple of times to get them on my shows. Like, I've tried like messaging TDS a couple of times. That guy is just so humble and so bashful. Sometimes I just want to like shake him and be like, "You're awesome, bro. You're awesome. Realize that. You're cool. You're awesome. People like you." Like, I
know it's funny because like you want to talk about a fire starter. I mean, people say that I go and I poke the hornet's nest and I say things I shouldn't.
Dear God, this guy is good at it.
Master has the heart of a lion, man. I don't think there's a beehive he won't kick.
So if I ever meet him,
in the nicest way, in case he hears.
So you know how his channel is named after a Yu-Gi-Oh card, right?
Yes.
Total Defense Shogun. So I've told him this, and he's like, and his reaction was like, why? Basically, if I know that I'm going to be meeting him, I'm actually going to have the Total Defense Shogun Yu-Gi-Oh card, and I'm actually get him to sign it. Like, I'm going to have him sign the Total Defense Shogun card. It's like, and I will frame that.
That's a great idea.
And the best part is, like, variations of the card are not that expensive. Like, I actually looked it up. It's like between like $2 and $10, for that card. So it's actually
now I have a hobby. I'm going to get me one of those cards and just try and find him. See, I remember he mentioned like how people have, when they meet him, they give him those cards. And he has like a whole collection of them. But
like, you know what you should do? Here's what you should do. And I'm pretty sure he'd agree to this. Is you get yourself a Master of TDS card. You send it to him. Ask him to sign it to you and send it back. What I would do is if you ordered offline, have it shipped directly to his house, have him sign it, and then you pay him the shipping to have it come back or whatever. And I'm actually pretty sure he would agree to that. Like, you'll probably have it sent to like a P.O. box or something.
Yeah.
But like, I'm pretty sure he'd do that. Like, you might have to pay for the ship, like have it shipped back to you or whatever. But like, I'm pretty sure he'd agree to it.
We'll have to pester him later and see about that. But anyway, we got way off topic there, but gonna round it back real quick.
I'm actually very good at that. So
Worthy Chaos, they were gonna be on our show. Tragically, they don't you have a coal mine to be haunting or something? Sorry, folks, don't mind him. He's the 8th child in a family of 7.
Oh dear God.
I'm that old.
You were a mistake. And Father's
Anyway,
like,
though,
if
Worthy
only
Chaos.
I had bought the Magnums instead of the Durex.
Ow! Wow. Anyway, though, Worthy Chaos Redemption issue 5 should be coming out very soon. If you like 90s stuff, if you like Buffy, if you like Supernatural, it's absolutely worth getting. They have really cool art. I love the cover.
What if I like Angel?
I'm not familiar with what you're talking about.
The Buffy spinoff, Angel.
Angel! Oh, I thought you said Eagle, and I'm like,
Do 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 do.
no. Yeah. I didn't watch Angel that much. My sister had a big heart on for
Yeah, it's
Chris,
pretty. It's
you
pretty
literally
good
just say
show.
that
I
your
mean,
sister had
it
a heart on.
ended a little bit early, premature, but yeah, it's a good show.
And now on the internet forever, everyone's going to hear me say the words "my sister had a heart on."
Oh my god! I just realized that.
She loved Angel. I didn't watch the Angel series that much, but yeah, it's in that same realm.
All right, people. You know when to clip. 1 hour, 10 minutes, 56 minutes in, around that time.
Don't you go doing that?
Remember what I said earlier? I like
Yes.
some chaos. I like to stir the pot. So
I'm gonna put you in the pot. Anyway, though.
Oh, kinky.
You know, you're very close to a piece of junk.
A piece of what?
You're very close to a piece of junk.
What kind of junk? Is it in your trunk?
No, you're supposed to say, then I'll step back a little. Oy vey. Anyway.
I am not a smart man.
So I'm curious, are you a big fan of kaiju?
Yes. I'm more of when it comes to like the tokusatsu stuff, I'm more of a Henshin Hero fan, but I do like kaiju stuff. Okay,
well, no, because the next we have here are kaiju stories. The first one is Fall of Man from Age Comics, AGE Comics.
Are there men falling though? Do the men fall in this one?
So basically, it's the heartwarming story of a post-apocalyptic world overrun by monsters where everyone is some kind of a mutant.
But are there any falling men?
A few people fall over. Yeah, a few guys fall on the ground. So it delivers what it promises.
So it is positive advertising. Okay, cool.
Yes, it is positive advertising. It's the shortest of all the comics that I have here talking about today, actually.
Don't worry, I'm sure someone lady will love it.
Oh no, I personally like them.
I don't think you get what I just said.
Yeah, because like I said before, I said I wasn't going to just mindlessly praise these things. I was going to be honest and fair. I feel like it kind of advertises itself kind of wrong, because it feels more about the mutants. It feels more like an X-Men.
So there's not enough falling men.
There's not enough kaiju. There's too many falling men.
Oh,
so
the title is apt, but it needs less falling.
Well, see, it kind of promoted. They kind of promote it as being like a kaiju story, but the kaiju kind of take a back seat to the mutants.
Tara, I love you. I love you, Tara, so much.
That is my sister, by the way.
I love you, Tara, Vagrancy's sister. See, I just don't give any fricks, so.
Yeah, but no. They are good comics. Issue 2, here's the thing. Issue 2, just today, just before we went live, actually got funded.
Well, nice.
It's funny. They're on fundmycomic.com, and I was checking this all day long because it was like just a few dollars shy. And I was like, okay, this is going to be cool. We're going to get it funded on our show right now. And then literally I checked it one last time before we go live. And they got over the threshold. I was like,
curses, foiled again.
I mean, it's great that they got funded. It's cool. But
you can't be the big damn hero. I get it.
Exactly. It's my show.
It's like, I want to be the hero. I want to have bragging rights, say I got you funded.
Yeah.
Why did you do that to me?
How dare that thoughtful person go out there and support?
No. If you're going to do it right. How dare you?
See, with his voices, we should get him to freaking do voices on the Vagrancy horror. Actually.
Oh, you want voices, don't you?
Well, you see, that's the funny thing. Actually,
Well,
is
here's the thing. I can do many voices. I can just call in and out. But
well, I'd like to think I'm not a
the
slouch
things
myself.
you must remember is the darkness is me. I will come to get you. I will tie a noose around your neck and then make you chocolate chip cookies.
Well, shit, son. Threaten me with a good time.
I'm sorry, I had to end it on a wholesome note.
There you go. But
Like, I've
anyway,
been so filthy out this stream. I need to balance the scales.
but no, Fall of Man.
Heroes.
It is.
I don't know what you're talking about with all these heroes. I am
It's-
living of the greatest design. I love how like all those voices had like a slight Russian accent twinge. I love it.
See, I'm just thinking I broke the guest.
Oh no. Nick's having a bit of a nap, you see. He's checked out of this reality, so I'm taking over for a little bit.
Hey, as long as you don't hurt the rat. You can do whatever you want to Nick's body and consciousness and mind and stuff like that. You don't touch little Courage.
Oh, I'm touching Courage right now, actually. But you see, there is one thing me and Nick share in common. We both love rats, so I won't kill Courage. I will love him. I will gently squeeze him. I will pet him. But there's one thing I will not do. Is I will not kill him. Because Courage is a good boy, and I love him, and that's the one thing me and Nick agree upon, and
It's funny that we're talking about this and like nobody's gonna have a damn clue what we're talking about.
well,
So
just give me a
chat.
second, why don't you? Just give me a second. Let me turn on my light because I am feeling the darkness right now, and now I must engage the light because you're making me feel the rat. So, all right, light is on, and then let me turn on my camera, and I'll show you Nick's pet rat. So, hello, I am Demos, and
Hello.
this is Nick's pet rat, Courage.
There he is. Hi, Courage.
Yes,
Everybody,
is
that
Courage.
is Courage.
He is a good boy. He is actually very well behaved. He's very curious. I have to admit, and he can be a bit of a handful. But gosh darn it, I just love this thing.
Yeah. No, we
Yes,
love,
Courage
we love
is-
all the weird.
Courage is he's feeling kind of ballsy today.
Oh my lack of a god.
Yes. It's like,
Yeah, but no,
you wanna get
that's
nuts?
Courage.
let's get nuts.
That is Courage, ladies and gentlemen. Nick's pet rat. We love the unloved animals here. We it was just last week we were talking about bats and Bat World Sanctuary.
Well, here's the
I have
thing
a-
about bats. They're actually very important for the ecosystem.
Oh yeah,
And yes,
reforestation.
I will be doing this voice for as long as I feel like it.
But anyway, wow, boy howdy, we completely lost any semblance of a
Yes,
story. I keep saying
we just took the script and we were like, fuck this, and just threw it away, tossed a match on it, and for good measure, poured a little kerosene because
I
I
feel
can never have enough kerosene. I have
feel
a
bad.
whole storage shed full of kerosene. I mean, the church bus isn't gonna light itself on fire.
Yeah, but no, it's funny because I've been in contact with everybody who made these comics today, and it's like
I think you
Oh.
just got the joke I made.
I know I heard you. I just didn't want to encourage it.
You didn't
Kurt-
want to
Oh,
encourage me.
the bishop actually had a question. Is Courage named after the dog?
Yes, actually.
I remember that
Except
show.
instead of being a cowardly dog, he is a cowardly rat.
I don't know. He seems pretty brave right now. It looks like he's almost going for the camera.
Oh, yes. Courage. Let's just say, in the intertwining years, his name has taken on a bit of a new meaning. So he did have a brother. His name was Drake, and Drake was a good boy, but Drake wasn't the most healthy. And sadly, Drake passed away a couple of months ago, a little over a year. So it's just me and Courage, and Courage was named after the cowardly dog, but now his name is he's more courageous. Like his name is more tied to the emotion rather than it. See, I have no fear, for I have courage.
Aw, that's adorable.
So his name was he was originally named after the dog, but now he's named after the emotion because courage gives me strength. And he's really comforting to Nick, because the thing about Courage is Nick loves Courage, and Courage loves Nick, and it feels really good for him to know that he's loved. At least somebody loves him.
Yeah. See, I always say
anybody who has rats knows that grooming is a sign of affection. It's how, and
I was gonna say, it looks like he's kind of nibbling on you there.
Yes, Courage is showing me much affection right now.
See, I keep saying I'd love to have a rat or two, but
you should.
The problem is they seem like they take up a lot of time. Like you need to be able to spend a lot of time with them. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm an oh goodness.
No, he's okay. There's a thing back there. Also, hi, Nick is back. So
hi, Nick.
Yeah, Demos wanted to play, so let him have his fun.
I thought he was literally gonna jump off over the.
Oh, he will. If I let him, he will. But there's a laundry basket he jumps into. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can't see it, but no. The thing about rats, especially when you have two of them, is rats are social creatures, and when you have more than one, they can play with each other. Now, the thing is, Courage really should have a buddy, but like I just wasn't comfortable getting another rat. But like because I'm home all the time, I can actually spend a lot of time with him, so it works out.
Yeah.
But like because if you get honestly get like 2, 3, some people have like entire colonies. It really works because they can socialize with each other. Like if I had 2 rats still, I could literally go away for an entire weekend, and as long as I made sure that they had food and water, they'd be fine.
Yeah.
Like and that was kind of the big thing for me because I do conventions, and I was kind of uncomfortable leaving them home for so long. But if I have 2 of them, I could literally be gone an entire weekend, and as long as they have food and water, as long as you get 2 of them, all their needs are met. You got the other rat for stuff, and as long as there's enough enrichment in the cage, like. Rats are actually really good pets. Like they're really easy to take care of. They're intelligent. They're extremely intelligent. The thing about rats is they have a very short life. They live about 2 to 4 years. So that's kind of the bad part is because they're such good pets, but they live for such a short amount of time.
You got to be ready to let them go, so to speak.
Yeah, they are social creatures, and the pet rats they do bond very easily. And they're easy to train. You can train them to do tricks. Their nicknames are pocket puppies. So the thing is, rats are very curious. They like to explore, and you've got to keep an eye on them because they will chew stuff. Like I have shirts that just have holes in them because of that.
I can't remember the channel, but there's a YouTube channel that refers to them as chaos potatoes.
I was actually about to say that. That is actually another nickname for them. And yes, I actually have heard that. But yes, these are chaos potatoes because when they want to go somewhere, like for example, you see how Courage, like he doesn't mind being in my like you can tell, like Courage, like for example, like Courage doesn't mind being held. You know what I'm saying? Like if he was scared or concerned, he wouldn't be acting this way. but he does want to be elsewhere, which is why he leaps out of my arms. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's like, hey, like, I don't mind you, Dad. Like, you're cool, but like, I want to go here. Like, see?
Yeah, there
See
you
how
go.
like he wasn't running away. It was just like,
Yeah.
that was cool. I'm gonna go do something else, you know.
My sister used to have mice.
Yeah, mice are similar. In
Similar,
that
but they're
regard.
not quite the same. I want to
Yeah.
say I heard someone say that rats actually, in terms of pets, are more like cats.
Actually, I'd say
Very
rats are more in terms of dogs. I would say, because rats are actually extremely affectionate and they actually are very loyal. You know, like just like honestly, like sure, rats kind of do their own thing, but they do want to be loved. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like dogs want to be loved. You know what I'm saying? And the rats are the same way. Like I love it sometimes. Like when I wake up and like he starts to hear my voice, he'll come out of the cage and like come to greet me. And like I know when he wants to come out of the cage because like I have my cage over that way. He'll like jump on it, and there's kind of like a spot where he knows he'll see me, or like he'll climb on the bars and whatnot. So yeah, and
An
like
effective
even
way to
even
say.
like even when he does kind of like get around the apartment, I don't really worry because like I know his hiding spots. Plus, like he's actually really good to where like let's say he's running around and I find him, I kind of just slowly go down and I scoop him up. He just like sits there and like lets me scoop him up. He doesn't fight me about it. It's kind of like, okay, you caught me. All right, jig is up. You know. Um,
But yeah, Tara had a good idea. Just do an episode about odd pets and weird
he
pets.
loves being on my shoulder. Like if I'm like, it's like he's so good that if I can like sometimes when I'm cooking or I'm just like walking around the house, I'll just have him on my shoulder. Like he's so good about it that like I can actually go outside with him on my shoulder, go check the mail, walk around with him on my shoulder, and it's fine. Like I know when he starts to get antsy, like he actually likes to go on my shirt a lot. You know, he likes to nap there. You know, um, like you'll see this a lot. Like you women who have rats that like kind of go down their shirt and whatnot. You know, um, but like like I know when he gets a little antsy and he's gonna start trying to like climb down, and that's kind of my signal to like hold on to him and bring him back inside. But usually he's really good. Like I know him well enough that like I know kind of like what he's about to do because usually he'll do some stuff like right before he's about to do it, you know, and like all right, you're about to climb down my back. All right, I know you're about to, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like for example, I know that when he goes there, he'll like jump up here. If I have the window open, he'll climb the windowsill, explore a little bit. There's a little crevice right here, and then that's a pretense for Duke, and then jumping off. So like I know that when he runs over here, he's getting ready to jump off. So it's like I was like, okay, scoopy up time.
Yeah.
And right now, Courage is kind of resting between some blankets right here. You know,
Okay. Yeah.
he's letting me pet him.
We have. This is something cool. We have a rat king. Stuffed rats. Yeah, no, we love rats and bats. And
Yeah, I used to let them like free roam around the apartment for like an hour every day. The problem is, they pee a lot. See, the thing is, the poop is really not what smells; it's the pee, and the males tend to mark the territory. And the problem I had with them is, they would pee so often. My apartment was really starting to smell real bad. So nowadays, when they're out and about, their couch sometimes they'll be on the bed, and if they are free roaming, it's very short. Like they'll jump, and maybe they'll get around, and I get them and I grab them, you know. But like one of the cool things is when I would let them free roam, and this is like some of the best feelings ever, is I'd be doing something in the kitchen, and then I'd see them walk towards me. Like the fact that like they're free roaming and they wanted to engage with me, that made me feel so happy because like it's like, oh, they love their humans so much they want to be around me. Like like Courage is literally resting and I have my hand under him and he's just letting me do it because he feels so comfortable with me, so safe that like he's letting me pet him while he sleeps. Like he knows he's safe with me, and
yeah,
that makes me so happy. Like
Oh,
Like, I do feel like I failed Drake. Real talk. But here's the thing. These two rats were feeder rats. All right? And if it wasn't for me, they would be dried up shit on a newspaper. And even Drake, he lived about a year. Even though he had a short life, I still gave him a much better, like, I gave him literally the best possible life he could have had.
yeah.
You know, like, I know I took good care of him. I know I did my best. I wish I could have done better. I still feel like I failed him, but all things considered, you know, wasn't for me, he wouldn't have lived as good a life. And
Yeah.
Courage is well taken care of. You know, he gets socialization from me. You know, I do the best I can. He's fed, he's watered. You know, and I know when Courage dies, it's gonna be tragic, but I'll feel a little more at peace knowing, like, he lived the best possible life he could.
Yeah. See, I was on the other side of that coin. I've had frogs. I've had bullfrogs and Pac-Man frogs and stuff like
And then
that.
they croaked.
I'm not mad that you made that joke. I'm mad that you beat me to it. But it's funny that we're.
I love the distinction. I love how it's like it's a bad joke. It's low hanging fruit, but I had to.
Yeah, but it's funny that we're talking about pets and stuff. So real quick, I'm gonna go back here. Fall of Man. It's a good comic. It's less of a kaiju. It's more of a X-Men, mutants, superhero team thing. Mm-hmm. But they have issue 2 now. They believe they stated somewhere they're going to do 6 issues of this, if I'm not mistaken. And 2 just got funded, but you can still go and join it. We have a link somewhere in the chat. But the other kaiju one we have is Soul War from Titanic Creations. Now,
okay.
What's interesting is this one's not a comic; it's a full-on graphic novel.
Oh wow!
And it's probably no disrespect intended. It's probably the highest quality of anything that we're looking at today on my end. What's interesting is that they actually make models, like action figures, for all of the kaiju in this story. And I think, don't quote me on this, I believe they're actually doing a sale right now. So this is a great chance to get this book or these models at a slightly lower cost, actually. So use that link. This is straight up kaiju. Reading it, I was very reminded of like Indiana Jones. And this is going to sound weird, but I mean this as a compliment. It reminded me a lot of like Raiders of the Lost Ark and Digimon. Anyone remember Digimon real quick?
One moment. Do
Anyone
I
remember
Digimon? Okay.
Oh no.
That is a question. Do I remember
Digimon? Oh boy. Oh god. Ow! Being attacked.
Oh my god, you're so adorable, Courage. Do I remember Digimon?
There you go. Yeah. So
this is a VHS. Oh no.
Holy
it gets even better.
VHS. Is that also box a VHS?
Set? No, this is a box set DVD set of season 1.
Nice.
And then this is a box set of season 2. So also I
Courage was the best. Courage is the best guest we've ever had on.
Do I know about Digimon?
There you go. Oh, I had like 2 or 3 of them.
Do I know about Digimon? The answer is
yes.
Kind of.
But anyway.
By the way, this is the X version, by the way. For those who are wondering, this is the X version. I had like the 20th anniversary version. The problem with that one, there was no freezing function, which kind of made it like kind of unplayable for people who did not have a traditional sleep schedule. This one, you can freeze them. I just got bored with it. But like, yeah.
Don't knock the Digimon. My sister is
Digimon. Digital monsters,
anyway.
Digimon are our champions.
But anyway, yeah. So basically the whole premise is that in the Titanic Creations game, or well, not game, but a universe, I should say, the kaiju's, they're kind of like Digimon. They need a human to bond with and be a sort of a partner, in order to become stronger at certain points. And it sucks because this is, like I said, probably the highest quality of anything that we're showing here today. Actually, it actually even has it's on an autograph. It's handwritten thank you. they wrote out thank you on it when I ordered it.
That's cool.
And the one real problem that I had with the book is it's set in 1942. Not a good year if you look at the world.
Yeah, you could say the world was at war.
Yeah, but the problem I have with this book is that it's great. It really is great. And then every now and then it just randomly has these panels where someone will mention some kind of social commentary about, prejudice. And the problem is so here's the problem I have with that. And I bet actually a lot of people will read this and kind of get bucked by it because it comes out of nowhere. Just randomly are you still there, buddy?
Yeah. I do need to. I need to wrap up and head off here in a minute, though.
Okay. Well, thank you for stopping by.
Wrap up this segment. We'll wrap up this segment, and then I'll take off.
Yeah. The problem I had with Soul Wars and the whole social commentary thing is, I think I can speak for a lot of people when I say we know segregation was wrong. We know prejudice in general is wrong. Bigotry is an outdated fossil of a concept. And I can expect a lot of people who would pick this up and read it. It like I said, it just kind of comes out of nowhere. Just randomly they need to mention it. And the problem is it's so good. It goes so well that it's like just randomly there's these parts where we need to address segregation. It's like, excuse me, I thought we were fighting Nazis with kaiju monsters.
Yeah, like, I mean that's kind of honestly, like we both know that's kind of part of the larger issue where it's like everything is political. Like all art is political, didn't you know?
Oh. I would love to know the politics behind like Perfectly Natural.
Oh, trust me, I'm sure some trained Marxists can come up with some gobbledygook for you if you want.
Oh, please don't. I'd rather have.
What are the politics of Ms. Pac-Man? I want to know that.
I don't think we do.
Well, if you see the feminist agenda, no. Like if you read Bell Hooks and Susan B. Anthony.
Stop. Please stop. My point is it's really good. It's just, it kind of gets in its own way a little bit. And for people who might just pick it up because it's like, oh, cool, World War II, and there's kaiju. That sounds awesome. Let's go on an adventure with that. Great. And then just randomly there's these parts about segregation. And the good thing is they come and they go very quickly. But they're more like a speed bump. You know what I mean? Like you're chugging along, the story's good.
Everyone.
I'm sorry?
No, I was like, and it was awkward for everybody.
Yes, basically it is. It's like, what? No, what? I thought we were going to Egypt to fight Nazis with.
Also, if you get that reference, you're awesome.
But anyway, overall, it is very good. It's just there's just some really jarring scenes that I think some people might get bucked by with it. And I'm just gonna say really, no, it's not woke. It's not SJW stuff. It's just kind of out of nowhere they bring this stuff up, and it's like, okay, can we get back to fighting the Nazis and saving the world? They kind of have a giant scorpion cobra that spits acid. I think we should be worrying about that and not where black people sit on the bus.
Yeah, it's kind of like that one cover from DC where it's like John Kent is protesting climate change. Meanwhile,
and Great Cthulhu is like, yeah, and Great Cthulhu is like rising up behind him. I think yeah, that was
Dude, the world's not gonna end in 5 minutes. If you stop, the world's not gonna end if you stop fighting climate change for 5 minutes, but it will end if you don't fight the giant squid. So please fight the giant fucking squid, please.
Can we please stop Great Cthulhu? But overall, it is very good. I think they're still doing a sale right now, actually, and I don't know if there's going to be a Soul War 2 or if they plan for it, but absolutely, it's worth it. It is worth it. Just kind of ham-fisted with a few scenes, but the good news is they come and they go as quickly as they, that. Very good. I highly recommend it. I keep saying I'm going to get one of some of these models that they make. Well, they're not models. They're action figures.
All right.
But they're on sale right now, and I think we shared a link to that. We have a link to their store. Put that down. Yeah, so Titanic Creations.
Well, I do need to get going.
Yeah. Well,
I had a great time.
Oh, actually, absolutely. It was great having you here.
Anytime you want me on, please let me know. I'll be happy to come on. You're pretty cool. And then I need to have you on one of my streams one of these days. So
yeah, I was on one when we were talking about the Nintendo eShop closing down.
Oh yeah, that was a good stream. So yeah, you're welcome on my stuff anytime, and anytime you want to have me on, let me know.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna pop off.
Yep.
So I'll just do my usual sign off. This has been Nick from the Phoenix Press, and remember, I can only show you the door. You're the ones who walk through it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Nick from Phoenix Press, and we're not done yet. Actually, we have one last comic. I was saving my personal favorite for last. Well, I love all of these. I want to say that real quick. I wouldn't be talking about them if I didn't think that they were worth yours and my time. They're all great. Really looking forward to Phoenix too. I didn't know that was a thing. I was not informed that he was that far along with that. But yeah, thank you also to Courage. Wonderful seeing Courage. Anytime we can get a rat around here. But anyway, our big grand finale for wrapping up here, we have Cinecrypt, and these are not used to having the camera where it is. These are some of the most creative and clever comics I've ever read. If you're a fan of cinema, especially old cinema, not even necessarily horror, you're gonna love these. So these are from our friends over at Red, Black, and Blue Comics, I believe, or Red, Black, and White, I think is the name of their the company. I'm terrible with remembering names. I know, great endorsement, right? I think we have them on a link to them. Oh, then giving the bishop a chance to find it and get caught up. Hold on. Anyway, though, yeah, these are. I've never seen anyone who makes comics these ways. There it is, Red, Black, and Blue Comics. I was right. Yeah, please be careful. So basically, the way that our friends over there make these comics is they actually take stills from old film reels, and they basically trace them over and then retransplant them into. I'm going to try and show here. They try to show them like a comic book with, speech bubbles and things like that. Wow, this screen is weird. There we go. And I'm trying to think what they're on now. They've been doing this for a little while, actually. I want to say they're on like 12 or so. I was talking to the creator before the show, and he was saying how they're working on getting the next Kickstarter ready. They have a second series called Midnight Slash, but unfortunately, I haven't gotten any of those issues. But it's the same technique and everything, just for slasher stories instead of stories like these. These are made from like Hitchcock reels, uh, House on Haunted Hill. Oh yes, thank you. And what's actually cool is on one of the Kickstarters, they actually sent me one of the actual bits of film reel that they use to make these comics. And I'm kind of getting a mix up of words here. They actually also made one, a full-on book of House on Haunted Hill with Vincent Price, uh, which is really cool too. But my absolute favorite thing that they've done, my favorite story of theirs, and this might be my favorite personal comic of all. I wanted to save it for last, and the bishop has a shit-eating grin on his face because he knows what's coming. He knows this one. I love this comic so damn much. Easily my favorite of all. This is their Christmas special from last year. This is The Devil That Saved Christmas. It was made using. Oh, that works. Yeah, it was made using stills from various movies, including Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, which is one of maybe the greatest Christmas movie. If you disagree with me, that's okay. You're allowed to be wrong. But it's a story about this lesser devil that's trying to ruin Christmas. But I won't go into too many spoilers. But he kind of screws up a little bit. Let's put it that way. And it has just wonderful references and Easter eggs all through it. Like you can see Amityville Horror. It has the single greatest joke Easter egg reference I've ever heard or seen, rather. But I'm not going to show you it. You guys got to try and get a hold of it yourself. Over on Kickstarter, because like I said, I believe they're going to be starting a new Kickstarter very soon. But you can follow the link we sent to their website. Like I said, I'm not going to show you the single greatest Easter egg reference joke I've ever read in a comic. You're going to have to find it yourself. You have to find a way to buy this yourself and see it. You'll thank me later. Wow. That does not help at all. Maybe you should stop blinding me with that damn light. Anyway, yeah, I don't imagine that we're going to be using this software that much in the future. Yeah, I think there is a creature from the Black Lagoon somewhere in here, actually, Tara. It wouldn't shock me. They use all kinds of stuff. The folks over at Cinema Crypt, they love old cinema, and that's why I say, even if you're not a big fan of horror, if you're a fan of cinema, if you like the look of older cinema and things like that, then you definitely need to get your hands on these two and check them out. They're absolutely worth your time. You can also find them on Kickstarter. It's funny. I was actually joking before about how they have the worst timing because they always start their Kickstarters like right when I can't afford it, and I'm actually really behind in the collection because, like I said, I think there's like 12, and I only have like 4 or 5 issues actually, so I really do want to get caught back up on it. the whole process behind them is so unique, and it's like I was talking about with our guest earlier. Is you can really see a passion and a love in these comics. Now they tell their own stories. It's just got really bright. It's just that they use, I guess they essentially recycle older film reels and stuff like that to tell their own stories. Um, and it's kind of funny. The process that goes into making these is almost the most interesting part of it. The devil versus Santa. The devil that saved Christmas. Oh no, Screecher's awesome. 2100 Samurai is really cool too. I can't show you it because I only have it on PDF. I don't have a physical copy. But yeah, no, Santa, the Devil That Saved Christmas, easily is my favorite comic book of all. It's so quirky and funny and ridiculous. I really love all these. Like I said, if I didn't like them, I wouldn't be showing them. Even Soul War, I think is really good and very much worth your money and your business, even if it kind of has a glaring problem with those speed bumps, as I put it. But yeah, Cinecrypt is very special to me, especially the Devil That Saved Christmas. Um, I wish we could have gotten. I think his name is Ash. I'm not sure about his name actually. The guy who runs Red, Black, and Blue Comics. I wish we could have gotten him on. It's a funny story because actually I sent him an email asking if we could talk about his stuff on the show, and he actually was like, he was touched and shocked that it was like, you want to talk about this on my show? You want to talk about my stuff on your show? And apparently it just made his day. So hopefully we can make his day again. Um, he basically operates through Midnight Slice. Yeah, that's the bishop is looking up his other stuff. That's his other big comic book series, but it's more of a slasher series than these. These are more Hitchcockian, I would say. Um, yeah, he does a lot through Kickstarter. So if you can find, yeah, honestly, just look up Cinecrypt. Look up Cinecrypt and follow it to his Kickstarter. I think you can follow people on Kickstarter actually and just be notified if he does something. Uh, like I said, these are really good quality, very unique. Anyone who loves horror or the cinema in general, I think, would absolutely love these in your collection. Uh, but yeah, uh, I'm looking at all this stuff I have here in my hands and all these wonderful stories from talented, passionate creators, as our guest put it. Um, and I gotta say, man, I'm a card carrying member of the dark side. I've read the Necronomicon, as you can tell from my dear sweet puppers who are invisible for some. There you. No, no, don't you dare, mother. Does not help at all, especially now that I can't see. Anyway, we're running out of battery power here, and well, we were right. This was a long show, wasn't it? Not even considering the abysmal wait time. Sorry about that, folks. By the way, sorry for 20 minutes. I tell you what, man, I can't wait till next week when we go back to the normal thing. Oh yeah, no, yeah. It's anyway though. Pretty much. But anyway, yeah, I look at these wonderful stories and these great characters and things from these passionate people, and I'm an expert in dead things, and I have to say I don't think comics are dead at all. Mainstream, if you're in mainstream, you might be in a little bit of trouble, but nah, I think we're Doing good. I don't know about you guys. Go and check out all these guys. Links to everybody should be in the description, actually. So you don't have to go digging through the chats. And of course, we'll be back next week. And in the meantime, as always, ladies and gentlemen, keep checking the shadows.